Welcome to Edible on the Air, the piping hot July edition. I am Christine Barrington here in the studio with my co-host and also my featured guest. Who are you?
I'm Mark C. Anderson, managing editor of Edible Monterey Bay and also columnist for Friday Found Treasures, which comes out with our edible newsletter every end of the week.
Mark, you are sizzling up our airwaves today by bringing in 3 different guests. The first is a contributing writer to Edible Monterey Bay. That's going to be followed by a Carmel-based food grower, and then you'll bring it all home with a producer of artisanal mezcal. And as usual, we will wrap it all up at the end with a yummy taste test. So let's hit it. Our first guest is sitting right next to you. So Mark, take it away.
Okay, we got Ryan Masters, longtime colleague, friend, inspiration. And he's a writer, performing musician, and big wave body surfer who's also spent time as a Santa Cruz Mountains firefighter and Pacific Grove's first poet in residence. We've got him in studio to talk about a couple different pieces. And let's go up into the woods that you now call home, where we met up on a river shed that, you know, still wearing the burn scars from the CZU fire, where a nonprofit is turning 50. The Monterey Bay Salmon and Trout Project have a party coming up to celebrate that 50th anniversary. What did you see there? What did you learn? What surprised you in reporting this piece about them, like just keeping this species alive on the brink of, you know, extinction?
Well, thanks for having me, Mark. Good to see you again, as always. I think what was most surprising to me was how manual the science is there at Kingfisher Flat. So for decades now, they have struggled to keep the coho salmon alive, right? It's a very tenuous situation. They release about 30,000 smolt every year by hand. Each of these smolt actually has a wire put into their snout so it can be monitored. And this is a group of volunteers and maybe 1 or 2 employees led by a guy named Connor Greenwood up there. Kingfisher Flat is up off Scott Creek. So it's on the north coast, up just north of Davenport. And it was amazing to me, like how much dedication these people have.
Totally.
So they're out there, you know, every year, these coho are in 3-year cycles. And they have to release 30,000 of them into Scott Creek. And every year, only about 200 make it back, right?
Right, yeah, which seems like really low numbers, but as some of the experts up there pointed out, like if that many can make it back, there's a fighting chance.
Yeah, they were super positive. Like Greenwood was really optimistic about just how much progress they'd made in terms of sort of rehabilitating the brood, the stock. And so those numbers do sound really, you know,
a little
grim,
yeah.
But they aren't. Like you said, they aren't. Of course, it's very tenuous. It takes a lot of work on their end. They can get disease. They can get any number of different things can happen that could be catastrophic to the stock. So I went up there, you and I were up there together, and I spent like one rainy Friday morning helping them carry the smolt from the trucks out of these big holding pools in 5-gallon buckets, literally, and pouring them into the creek by hand.
I got to plug your piece because Ryan does a really incredible first person narrative of what it's like carrying the buckets down to the river and releasing these little babies that shoot out to the ocean and all the dangers that await, but hopefully will imprint on the river and come back. And it's just a really cool team too. Like the young marine biologists that are coming over from Cal Poly and UC Davis or
UC Santa Cruz. Yeah.
UC Santa Cruz. And it's an incredible scene up there in the Redwoods.
Yeah, they had a bunch of Conservation Corps people that were attached to NOAA. So they were doing a lot of the actual like real science. And, you know, a lot of it's just, like I said, is real manual grunt work, you know. They're literally manhandling and woman handling these fish into the creek, you know.
Okay, so that's a vivid read. Please check it out in the summer issue with a lot of striking photos. But that's not your only byline in the current issue out. You also went over to Scotts Valley, Christine Barrington's own.
Hey, you are in my neck of the woods, and I just want to say thank you so much for reporting on the salmon. We want them to live because we want to eat them.
Yeah, they do taste good.
They do taste good. So I can't wait to read that article, but I'm very interested in what you might have to say about Scotts Valley.
Yeah, well, it started with a triple combo of a spot. really, it provides a survey of some of the greatest hits of, I think, I don't know, slightly discovered, underappreciated, at least, a little foodie haven of sorts up there, like in its own foothills. So
I think everyone sort of underestimates Scotts Valley. I grew up in the Santa Cruz Mountains, and back in the 70s and 80s when I was young, driving over the hill, you just blow right through Scotts Valley, kind of wave at the dinosaurs, wave at Santa's Village or whatever. But no one really ever stops there, And in the last 20 years or so, a lot has happened. And I guess they are celebrating their 60th anniversary as a city in August next week. And you can really tell by the restaurants, right? It seems like every year there's a new crop of restaurants. So in this article, I touched on just a few of them. And the first, like you mentioned, was a triple play. This local guy started a Cambodian restaurant because he was inspired by a restaurant he used to love in the South Bay. And from there, he built a bar. And from there, he built like an Americana pub. And each of them are just like wildly like unique. The pub itself, he's like the mountain biker. Everything's named after different like mountain bike trails around the Santa Cruz Mountains. But he also goes over to Italy and rides. And he brought like this incredible dough. I've recently gone and eaten this. The pizza is about as good as it gets in the county, I think.
So some people might be listening and drooling like, oh, like Cambodian food and pizza and drinks. Where do I have to go to find this place? Where exactly is it located? I think I know, but I want you to say.
Sure. So the name of the three restaurants are Telly's, right?
Or Giatella's.
Giatella.
Sorry, Giatella's.
That's the Cambodian joint.
Yeah. That's the original place that he opened, Giatella's. And then JT's next door. Right, which is the bar.
Yeah,
JT's is very popular.
Well, it does a bumping business, and they do a lot of like weekly specials, and it's got a real neighborly feel. Like I just hanging out there while photographing it for the purposes of the piece. Like it was impressive how many regulars there were. Like so it's not like something to like sneeze at.
Right. And then they have the pizza.
Then the pizza place, or the Americana place. What's it? Remind me what it's called again.
Well, I think you said in the piece it's a little bit who's on first, because it's Giatella's, JT's Two Doors, which is in between, and then it's JT's bar next door.
Right. It's a little confusing, but they're all clumped together.
But the JT,
just get there.
The JT is the combining element because Giatella is spelled with a J, Jaitella. So JT, Giatella, and and that's right by the Scotts Valley Market. Just go to the Granite Creek Road exit.
Correct.
And if you haven't filled up on all that great food, pizza, and drinks, you can just pop behind to this really nondescript building where Steel Bonnet is located. And people, the community just loves to hang out there in their outdoor garden, and they usually have food trucks there, and that's a great spot too. So it's kind of a lot. Well,
I think this is a good segue spot because Ryan is also songwriter. I call him a swamp rock star. His band I watched more than any in my late 20s and 30s, the Suborbitals. Like, have you guys played at Steel Bonnet?
Yeah, we have. Yeah.
How would you like characterize the Suborbitals sound for the uninitiated?
Well, it's really original. It's dark and it's jazzy and it's Eddie rock, and we're described as a literary high. We've been around for 23 years. We've played a lot of spots all over the Monterey Bay, and Steel Bonnet was fantastic. Like, it's another point that like Scotts Valley's just got so much more going on than it used to, right? We really enjoyed playing there, and the food trucks were fantastic. I think they had the fish and chips place there when we played.
Oh, yeah. Scrumptious?
That's it.
Scrumptious. Oh, my gosh. That stuff is really good.
Okay, some of your other greatest hits around Scotts Valley. I'll just name a couple, and then you just give me your quick and dirty or quick and tasty. The Redwood Sandwich Company.
Yeah, I actually worked in Scotts Valley.
Christine's nodding enthusiastically.
I eat there all the time. My doctor has since asked me to cut back on the meat, etc. But I used to go in there.
It's like he does it an X-ray, and in your heart, there's the logo for the Redwood Sandwich Company.
That's exactly right. I'm 53 years old, so like I got to watch the old cholesterol and all the high blood pressure and all that kind of stuff. But I used to absolutely go in there and just devour those things. They use like the finest ingredients. The bread's amazing. It all is like freshly put together, and they have like really interesting combinations. Like, I loved that. I'm a big sandwich guy. Great spot.
Well, I'm gonna just jump in and say So this is all on Scotts Valley Drive. Jatella's is, and then you head down Redwood Sandwich Company. And then right across the street from that is the adorable French bakery. And I was in there chatting up the show to the people that were ringing me up, and they've got beautiful pastries, but there were folks from out of town, and they said, well, we ate at the Redwood Sandwich Company yesterday, and it was so great.
Yeah.
So they're right on Scotts Valley Drive. There are some great options for food. The adorable French bakery is killer.
Brand new.
It's brand new. It's fantastic.
So yeah.
And they do swing nights 2 Fridays of every month to bring community together, and we like to highlight, community connection.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, Otoro Sushi.
Yes, this is my son's favorite place. He's
Nice.
He's got incredibly expensive tastes, and not that this place is like super high end, or like they really do keep it affordable.
Solid value,
You
yeah.
know, I mean, he goes and eats like a ton of sashimi, and it costs a fortune because
He's not a small kid.
Yeah, you say sashimi, we hear the cash register ringing.
exactly.
Yeah, but Otoro does have a lot of reasonable options,
They do.
right? Their
They do.
bento plates and all that, really great. Yeah.
very much a family place. Like you'll see a lot of Scotts Valley families in there, and I lived in Asia for years. I know my sushi, and they know what they're doing.
Nice. Heavenly Roadside Cafe.
This is the spot for like breakfast, right, and brunch. It's kind of hidden because it's on the way to Felton, right? It's not within. Otoro's in that sort of. I think I say this in the article, but like it's a phrase you don't hear often. Probably not in edible Monterey Bay, which is strip mall sushi. But that's kind of what it is. But it's
Strip mall sushi coming
it doesn't
your
do
way.
it justice.
Yeah.
But you have to actually kind of leave Scotts Valley on your way to Felton to find Heavenly. And it's kind of tucked into the redwoods to the right. And I've had a lot of friends who've served there and love working there. The food is as good as breakfast can be. They have really great specials all the time, really good sweet stuff. You're into like waffles and stuff like that. Really great coffee, and menu's always changing, right? And so it's the spot for breakfast. It's like your weekend hangover spot.
And you can sit outside. You can sit on the deck if it's a beautiful day. It's a really wonderful spot.
It is.
All right, destination situation. One more. Laughing Monk Brewing, like a indoor-outdoor
Are we still in
optionality.
Scotts Valley?
We're still in Scotts Valley.
I haven't heard of this one.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Laughing Monk's over there behind Starbucks, and it's over by that kind of Target.
You want to know where you're going. You got to know what's there, I
Scotts
guess.
Valley, like all these spots, you have to like go find them because Scotts Valley itself has no real central downtown, right?
Yeah.
For many years, like I said, when we were kids, we just blew right through it. But like it didn't have a whole lot of character because there was no downtown. There was nothing that really defined Scotts Valley for being Scotts Valley. Other than the fact that the Lost World used to be there or whatever. But if you know where these spots are, Laughing Monk is back where the airport used to be. It's on the edge of Sky Park, over by the dog park, and you have to be careful because it'll be packed. Like you have to know when to go. It is.
You got to elbow your way in.
Great
Yeah, they do a
beer.
lot of events and stuff
Yeah,
too.
great beer, amazing appetizers, great like entrees. It's just like really high end pub food, but that doesn't even do it justice. It's
I love pub food.
it's good stuff.
Okay. That's great. Well, yay for Scotts Valley. And, I'm going to give a plug for the Cinelux Theater Complex. It's so nice. And we love going to the movies now. We're going all the time now that COVID is far behind us. And it's always great to have a little place you can go out to eat beforehand.
100%. We go all the time too. I love the movies.
Yeah. Well, and then part of my intro to the sidebar about Bruno's, another one of our favorites we've discussed here, is that you could make a case that even though it's like, drive-by, flyover, afterthought kind of spot.
The bassist for the Suborbitals is a jazz musician, and he plays there all the time. He loves it.
Bruno's is a whole universe. They've got
Yeah.
karaoke nights, live music. Yeah.
The Vault Speakeasy and like the sports bar and all, they've got a ton of daily specials too.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Ryan. This is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Check out RyanMasters831.com for more writing and music. Thanks for having me.
yeah.
RyanMasters831.com. Okay. Well, all right, Ryan, thank you so much for coming into the studio. We're going to take a short break, folks. We'll be back with another great guest that Mark Anderson has dragged into the studio. Thank you, Mark. Welcome back to Edible on the Air on KSQD Community Radio. We are broadcasting so many different ways. You can tune your dial to 90.7 FM here in the heart of Santa Cruz, but if you're driving in the direction of Watsonville and into Monterey, you'll need to move the dial a couple of points to 89.7 FM. But if you're tucked all the way into Carmel Valley, you can nudge it a little further and you will find us on 89.5 FM. Or you can skip all that and just upload our app from the App Store. KSQD are the call letters. You'll find it there. It's so easy. And of course, you can always easily tap into our broadcast stream at ksqd.org. Anywhere fine Wi-Fi is to be found. Well, I'm Christine Farrington, and here in the studio with me is Mark C. Anderson, managing editor of Edible Monterey Bay Magazine. Mark knows a lot of folks in the local food world, and he brings them to us live, by phone, by Zoom, any way he can make it happen. And right now, we have on the phone one of our dynamic and dedicated food growers. Mark, you are up. Who is our special guest?
Jamie Collins, author, farmer, polyglot, business owner. Tell us where you are now and where you are every Friday, because that's fun and local and fresh. And then we'll talk cucumbers. But where are you currently?
I'm at my farm stand in Carmel, right on the other side of Carmel Rancho, basically at the end of Rio Road on a little gravel road called Val Verde Drive. And that's where I have 12 acres of row crops, certified organic row crops, and do my farm stand here from 10 to 2 every Friday.
And not only do you grow organic produce and have been a leader in that space since, I think you got a big anniversary coming up that we can talk about, but you also help with CCOF, California Certified Organic Farmers, in coaching, I guess, beginning farmers on how to work without pesticides.
Yeah, well, right now I'm working with the Transition to Organic program, which helps farmers transition their farms to organic. There was a bunch of money in that a few years ago. So basically it's helping the farmers hold their hand and kind of help them with, learn from the paperwork and what they need to keep track of, to help them with all the ways to grow organic under the National Organic Program guidelines. And it's good too, because there's actual grant money to help these farmers, which there never was previously. So it actually will help pay for a lot of the groundwork, the fertilizer, the seeds and things like that. So it really helps farmers become farmers and sets them up for success. So I have a little 11 o'clock Zoom on Tuesdays where people can just jump on that call for free. And I'm basically a consultant and I can help them with anything related to organic. So that's my hat with CCOF right now.
Okay, nice segue, because we could talk about a different hat, but we'll put that in the show notes, how people can tap into that resource. Another hat, you're a storyteller. And one of the places that we have you in Edible Monterey Bay with consistency is a feature called What's in Season, where you have made it a regular masterpiece of coming up with maybe not the most mainstream produce items and getting into the history and the application, the different ways to cook things, like for the summer issue, cucumbers. And it's not just any cucumbers, but you get into Armenian cucumbers and albino cucumbers. What inspired you to pitch this as what you wanted to feature for this summer issue out now?
Well, I've been writing it for however many years Edible's been around. I think 15. Starting with the second issue. No, I know, but the second issue, I think, is when I pitched the idea of the column. It's getting down to where we need to talk about varieties now instead of just tomatoes, beets, squash. There's a few favorite varieties that I grow that I really like. So we started to kind of focus on more varieties with this one. But still, we hadn't written about cucumbers before, but it's hard to find something we hadn't written about. So it's always the kind of the challenge. And then I pretty much love everything, so I can get excited about all of it. But the Armenian
it's hard not to love a mouse melon. Who are we kidding? They're tiny. They're great on charcuterie plates. They're just adorable to look at too. But yeah, I interrupted you. Armenian cucumbers. Why did you want to make sure that was part of the piece?
Well, if you go get a cucumber at a regular grocery store most of the time, and I'll even try and buy them like when they're out of season sometimes because they're a good snack, and they just don't taste that good, or they taste bitter or just like nothing. And Armenian cucumbers are actually in the melon family, so they are sweeter. And they're just cool looking. They grow like little swans and have weird shapes. And you can eat the skin. They're thin skinned and they're super delicious. They're really juicy, crunchy, and sweet. So they'd be really good in like cucumber lemon water or just any kind of preparation you can do with those. So that's one of my favorites.
Yeah, and you threw in a couple recipes this go around, which was fun. I'm looking at a simple summer salad, which I like because it's a super easy feta, tomato, little red onion, lemon, salt and pepper. But then you also got Talia, who maybe you can say a quick nod to her. She pulled together the cucumber sumac margarita. Christine's licking her lips. That is a winner too. And then you got your tzatziki yogurt dip. So there's a lot of fun entry points for having fun cooking with or prepping with cucumber.
Yeah. And then the little mouse melons, those are just so cute. And, they look like little watermelons that a mouse might have.
Yes, a
I
little
imagine
family.
little mice like sitting down and having like little knives and forks with this tiny little cucamelon.
Little cheese and melon. And are these two items things that people could purchase at your farm stand? Like if somebody's driving around in Carmel right now and they're like, I'm heading over that farm stand now, they could purchase that from you?
The Armenians are here.
Mm-hmm.
The cucamelons aren't ready yet. They take a little longer and they're a little more finicky. But then there's the white Japanese itachi, and those are not ready yet, but they will be ready soon. The white cucumber.
Yeah.
All right. I can tell Mark's got something else he wants
Well,
to
I
talk
just
to.
want to do a dramatic reading because I love the way she opens the piece,
Okay.
which we titled Swoon Song. And Jamie writes, I haven't met a cucumber I didn't like. They are prolific in the garden, easy to grow, easier to prepare, and extremely refreshing on a hot day. They're versatile, mild in flavor, and a great low-calorie fruit high in potassium and vitamin C. Yeah, you're basically an ambassador, not just for the organic movement, but also great produce. And you got a big anniversary coming up for Serendipity Farms.
Yep, 25 years I've been farming since I was 27.
How is
so
possible?
That's this year. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's crazy I stuck with something so long.
Well, passion project would be an understatement. And you helped introduce me in my reintroduction to farms and local produce back in the day when you were responsible for feeding our entire newspaper staff with boxes of organic produce that you would drop off every Tuesday, I want to say. But that was still the best tomato sauce and tomato soup you can make, or with Serendipity Farms heirloom tomatoes.
Can folks get Serendipity Farms at the farmers markets in Monterey area?
Great call. Which markets are you at?
The markets that we're at now are Live Oak in Santa Cruz on Sunday and West Side in Santa Cruz on Sunday, unfortunately. I've been trying to get into the...
Christine's dancing. That's why I'm laughing.
Oh, yeah. I'm over here in
you in
Santa
Santa
Cruz.
Cruz?
Yes, I'm
Santa Cruz?
so excited. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Come, I'm personally at the Sunday one, so come see me.
At Live
Yeah.
Oak? Okay.
There we go.
At Live Oak every
Look at
Sunday.
that. Get to know your farmer.
But yeah, we were doing Carmel Market downtown, but there's just a lot of tourists that don't really buy much, down there. And so we decided to not do that until we are up running with our commercial kitchen again and making products. But yeah, for now, we're in the Santa Cruz West Side on Saturday, Live Oak on Sunday. We do Saratoga on Saturday, and then I do the farm stand, which the farm stand's great. You just drive right up, you could even drive through and point at things, and I'll bring it to your window if you want. So it's pretty easy.
Drive and point, produce purchasing.
Okay, I don't know if we want to encourage that, but that does show your hospitable soul that you're down to do that for folks.
And I have a customer right now. She just went out in the field and did a U-pick, strawberry U-pick.
You point, you pick, however you want to do it. It can be done at the Serendipity Farms farm stand in Carmel.
Fresh as it gets, right there. All right, thanks, Jamie. Get back to work. Appreciate you calling in.
Thank you. Right. Thanks for joining us on KSQD. Have a good day.
Okay, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. That was fun.
All right.
She's been writing for Edible Monterey Bay magazine since its second issue. She's been growing food. She knows what she's talking about. I'm having this fantasy of going to Ana Luisa Bejar's cafe right?
Nice.
In
Sunny
Carmel
Cafe,
Valley.
Carmel Valley.
Sunny Cafe, then popping over to the farm stand, you know.
We have a great piece that I think her mentioning strawberries reminds me of. Kathy McKenzie reported on a place called Ichigo Strawberries, which is a third generation.
Oh, they're so good. They're so good. You can buy those at the Scotts Valley Market, and we wait all year. They're like cotton candy. They taste so sweet.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there's a deep dive on that one.
So in this edition of Edible Monterey Bay Magazine that just came out at the beginning of the month, right?
Correct.
Yeah, we can read all about these Japanese strawberries. Yeah.
Yeah, and the unique aquaponics system that they have that treads a little lighter on the land, but then also produces like a better fruit is pretty special. And just kind of the family history that goes into it makes for a fascinating read.
And it's Ichigawa, is how we say it. Is that right?
Ichigo.
Ichigo?
Do you speak Japanese?
No, I do not.
Watashi wa ginko goto. That means
Applause,
I'm
applause.
a bank robber.
It doesn't say, please give me sweet strawberries. Okay.
Well, Ichigo does mean strawberry, so now you speak at least one word.
I do. And sushi, too. Mm-hmm.
Well, Ichiban means best. So these Ichigo strawberries are Ichiban.
Ichigo, Ichiban. Very good.
Look at you.
How wonderful.
My star pupil.
I speak fluent strawberry.
All right, one other story to highlight from the issue. And I got a kick out of my publisher, Deborah Lurman, saying, great job to Amber Turpin, who is the author on this one, and finding a story that's very much what Edible Monterey Bay readers are into, because it's this niche, specific, handcrafted operation. It's called Gold Dot Roasting. So they're up in the mountains, Boulder Creek, and they've nerded out hardcore on the craft, the art, the science of roasting coffee beans. But the fun and atypical element with them is that they're both equally, maybe more nerdy around ceramics. So the intersection of coffee and ceramics is kind of their jam. And I just want to...
Do they have a storefront in Boulder Creek?
No, they're operating out of what's called the cottage industry. Like the one half of the mom and pop combo has his own ceramic studio, but they don't have a coffee storefront.
Got it.
But it's a subscription basis.
So if you want to buy Gold Dot Coffee or their special ceramics, you need to purchase it online. It gets sent to you. Is that correct? Okay.
And here's what happens.
No pilgrimages to Boulder Creek. Unless it's just spiritual.
Check out the studio. So
Okay.
I'll find that in a second. But
Okay.
here's what Amber Turpin writes, like in introducing Gold Dot. When you receive your box of coffee from Gold Dot Roasting of Boulder Creek, packaged in a cylindrical box, then cut open the gold stickers that seal the lid, your first glimpse is a small note of instructions. They tell you to get a bowl. Then pour the coffee into it carefully. As you do, a ceramic vessel gently tumbles out, unveiling itself amid a small landslide of coffee. So they do these seasonal pottery items that are beautiful, and that's why I would encourage people to pick up the issue, because you can get a look at them making them.
And the coffee beans are like the packing material.
Right. And so they're both seasonally designed.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So the coffee, they vary it according to like winter, summer, but then also the style of the ceramics are similarly reflective of the season too. So it's a pretty specific, very cool, very arty kind of thing.
So do you always get a ceramic, like is it a mug or a serving?
Well, here I can show Christine
see.
in the studio. Like you could probably use it in a number of ways.
Hand it
like
over.
I don't know, you might want to have
those-
it for a bouquet of flowers, or you
those
might want to
are
like drink
beautiful.
from it, or you like it's stylish stuff.
Very stylish. That is exceptionally special. So when you order like a pound or a couple pounds of coffee, you get one of these beautiful ceramic
Yeah,
vessels.
so it's
that's
like a quarterly thing.
exquisite.
And
Go Boulder Creek.
yeah, so it's Mitra Mostafi and Rocky Lewicki. He teaches ceramics at
Is he at the studio on the west side?
no, he has his own, and it's pretty big too. One cool thing to note is that Gold Dot is among a little mini rush, if you will.
What does it
Pardon
mean?
the pun, of new coffee operations that are small, independent, and happening all around Santa Cruz. So I'm looking at you.
So we're having a Gold Dot rush amid a coffee rush.
Right. So both are happening. Like Alta Organic Coffee Warehouse and Roasting has a new generation of leadership. Cliffside Coffee Bar is this really cool mobile operation setting up above the Hook, Pleasure Point on the east side of Santa Cruz. And then Foolhardy Coffee is another one that's all included in a sidebar to the Gold Dot piece.
Wow. So if you're a coffee lover, you are in luck.
Yeah, you're feeling it.
Yeah, that would have been a fun taste test, but kind of hard to pull off. But we could have done it.
Well, yeah. I mean, aspirations.
Yeah. Well, awesome. Well, if you want to get a good, healthy buzz, there's lots of great coffee options brewing up in Santa Cruz area, Santa Cruz County. So we have about 10 minutes before our next guest arrives, Mark. What other culinary adventures do you want to take us on?
Have you heard of Compact Disco?
No?
True to its name, it's this little club on the back, quieter side of Golden State Theater in downtown Monterey. Not exactly a place you'd think of in like a food context, but I didn't realize that they had as much of a strong roster of house and techno and like just disco DJs coming, but their owner is super connected in that world and puts on these awesome shows. But now they've added weekend food with a little like window right there on the sidewalk. So it's simple comfort food. It's club sandwiches, it's deluxe chicken tenders, it's crinkle cut fries. But it's fun for me to, because there's not that many places that are independent, non-chain. I guess that's redundant. You got Denny's, you got Taco Bell, but then you got late night option in Monterey on the weekends, and you got great music with it. So that's Compact Disco. That's a cool story by Shannon Sains. It's at ediblemontereybay.com. It's nice to have those options.
So are you saying it's kind of like a place you can go to dance and get some quote unquote fast food through a window? You said something about a window, and I'm trying to picture this.
It's I guess it's old school, but like informal, and yeah, it's just got this lettering "eat" above it, and you dance your butt off, and then you go get a little refuel, and then get back on the dance floor.
I love it. And do you go dancing there?
I need to.
You need to. That's a lovely way of saying you haven't yet. I love that. And have you checked it out? Do you know what the demographics are of the dancers? Because I love community events where everybody's there. You know,
I think
every age.
It's hitting 20s, 30s, 40s would be like...
I'll put on my cat ears and maybe I'll pass.
No, I think you would fit in just fine and have a good old time.
That's great. That sounds so fun. Wonderful. Anything else?
Well, so I don't know when you were in college how proficient you were at... Did you have a job in college?
Yes. I worked for the catering department. Always, wherever there's food, I am close by.
That is great.
Yeah.
So what was your role?
I was a server.
Okay, nice. I'm thinking about that because UC Santa Cruz Jr., Clyde Collado, is building a whole poke business while in school as a banana slug, which is like...
As long as it's not banana slug poke. That's all that I care about.
He focuses on salmon and tuna. He does it in
good.
hand roll kits. He does it as bowls. He does it as wonton nachos. And it's available in Scotts Valley. We're back in Scotts Valley.
Really?
He's figured out a way to streamline his time and his product selection, but he's getting hyper fresh fish from Stagnaro Brothers. He's getting brocal avocados from another local farm and making all his own seasoning, and it's all handmade. So you put in an order and then you pick it up at a commercial kitchen in Scotts Valley. So the name of that one is INAO Poke. And now Poke, and people can learn more. Grace St. Clair has that one at ediblemontereybay.com.
I am not surprised. Grace gets all these like little niche
She's on it.
discoveries, huh? So it's INAO. INAO.
Oh, and we're back to you learning Japanese.
That's it.
That's
Yeah.
That means name in Japanese.
Well,
so that's
this young man is very entrepreneurial. That is really brilliant because, handling raw fish.
He's about that poke life. It's been a dream of his since he was going to Hawaii with his dad, who's in the Air Force, and wondering why there wasn't stronger poke options on the California coast.
And so, folks, if you're interested in this, all you have to do is pop by one of the many, many locations that has a copy of the free Edible Monterey Bay magazine. There's an article all about this in there. Right?
No, this is not in the print. This is on our
newsletter.
In our newsletter, but that's also free.
That's
People
also
sign right up and get your.
It's pretty fun to get that in my email box and read what's going on and salivate and dream about what more I can eat.
We got the stuff, and we got a taste test coming up.
We do, and after our next guest, we're going to take a short break while we prepare to meet this special person, and we'll be back with more on Edible on the Air. This is Edible on the Air, where we get fed juicy, delicious tidbits all about the foodie gigs going on across the Tri-County area. All this is made possible by Mark C. Anderson, who is the managing editor of Edible Monterey Bay. And because he's constantly curious about what's going on, he brings in the people he meets along the way. Mark, you have our third guest of the day, and I can't wait to find out more about their speciality.
Okay, Franco Baffi is here in studio, and this is a fun journey of sorts because for a very locally obsessed publication, we did something atypical with our summer issue. We put a photo from Oaxaca and a story that's really sown in the soils of South Mexico, because there is a really interesting local link. And so we got Franco here to describe a little bit about what Huxa mezcal has to do with not just Oaxaca, but also Santa Cruz spirit, and maybe the patron that helped start it, and now you honor by continuing to do the brand with his art in the label.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit more on the personal level, how it started and the connection with Santa Cruz. I'm from Argentina originally, and at 12, I moved to Florida, to Miami, and I lived there until I was 25, and then I moved to the West Coast. But when I was in Florida, I discovered the passion for mountain bike, and I started mountain biking a bunch, and I started seeing all these videos of...
Oh, you had to go to the epicenter.
And that's really like how I discovered my passion for mountain biking, and how I really loved the idea of Santa Cruz and moving here. On tandem to that, I also loved industrial design, and that's where I decided to go to school in San Francisco.
Okay.
And that drove me to Santa Cruz to work in the bike industry. After that, I met my wife, Larissa, and her dad, Sam, whom I really, really loved as a guide, and he was a wonderful human. Anyway, story short, Sam had a connection with Don Bernardo and Fabiola, and they are the master distillers down in Oaxaca, father and daughter.
Yes, like Mezcalero, father and daughter combo.
Correct. And
they appear on the cover.
Exactly. And from there, that's how my relationship with Don Bernardo and Fabiola started.
Because Sam had traveled there quite a bit, fell in love with mezcal, but more importantly, like this very handmade, laborious process of doing it the right way, the old school way, with tamarindo and what's the other one's name?
Tamarindo melon.
Melon, the big old oxes that drag the stone wheel that crushes the roasted agave to really do it right. And it really shows in the spirit. I was hoping you could say a little bit about how Sam really vibed with not just the mezcaleros, but the place, and how like your responsible kind of principles built into the brand.
So Sam was a sculptor, and he really valued craft, patience, and the love for making artisanal things. And that's what he met Don Bernardo, and Don Bernardo really does the same thing, but it's just in the form of a spirit. And that's where they really kicked it off. They had a great relationship, and then I got to see that in firsthand. Went to Oaxaca a few times with him, and just loved just having a good time. And from there, it's honestly it's a passion of love, because the amount of work these guys do down there is just mind-blowing. And it's called artisanal for a reason. There's different kinds of mezcales, but this one specifically, it's the oxen, Tamarindo Melon. They're the ones that do the crushing, and they live in the Palenque as well. They're part of the family. So literally that once the piñas are cooked, they get put in a tajona, which is this massive stone wheel. I think there might be photos from the article of it.
Yeah, and this very beautifully illustrated by Angel Persego, who's down in Oaxaca, and really is, he's passionate and using his craft as a photographer and an artist to spotlight like the kind of family run operations. And so it was cool to be able to have you connect us with him.
Yeah. So Angel, it's part of the small community in Tecolote, which is in Miahuatlan. There's only about 300 people there. So honestly, every time we're producing a batch, definitely the whole community is involved. In fact, the mezcal I brought today, it's a Tobalá, which is a wild agave. And the reason why I think this agave is so spectacular, and I do connect it to Santa Cruz a lot when I describe it, is because Tobalá, just like a wild agave, I compare it to chanterelles. I do
interesting.
Because I do a lot of foraging in the winter here. I like going up and I see marks and getting lost, and I have my little spots that you don't have to share. And same with the Tobalá down there. You have your little spots and you don't share.
Yeah, because people, I guess, assume that it's grown like you would a row crop, but it's wild.
So some of them are. Our Tobalá is 100% wild, which is, so you got to go up in the mountains and find it yourself. And our Coyote is more of a hybrid. So we do farm some of it, and we also forage.
Okay, so if people are looking to try your stuff, they can order it directly. They can also find it in what kind of places are good to direct people where it's treated with the kind of reverence it deserves?
So around Santa Cruz, I would say we're in several restaurants around town, but Oswald's and Copal are a great place to go because they have all 4 varietals, and you can try them all. Josh is great at Oswald's. He'll definitely show you the whole experience. And you can also buy it online, and we're all the New Leaves and Deer Park in Aptos, which they're fantastic over there.
Deer Park Wine and Spirits. You mentioned Copal. Estuvi is a student of mezcal. They really feature it. They've got a tasting flight featuring your stuff. And I mean, there is something to be discerned from comparing the different strains that you use and experiencing the different expressions, because it's somewhat subtle, but then it is remarkable. I don't think I have the best palate, but with the right guide and the right interesting spirits, you can really notice things that maybe you might not otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, I love doing tastings with people, especially when they're brand new to the mezcal world, because I actually put them in a special order, and I think it's like doing a wine tasting. You really go through each one, and they're all made the same way, yet the plant speaks and just like shows you, our Coyote is 6 years old, but our Tobalá is 12 to 15. The complexity of that plant can get.
Like an overused word, but I'm glad you did say complexity, because there is that kind of nuance, and I mean, it's an exciting flavor experience.
I love it myself. Maybe I'm being a little bit biased, but
bias allowed.
And even like people describe mezcal as being too smoky, but honestly, when you start getting to some like our Barreno or our Tobalá, they get less smoky and more complex in flavor, especially because they're
almost citric and earthy and mineral driven. Christine. She's waving her hand.
I have a question. I've heard this word Tobalá. Can you explain what that is?
Yeah. So Tobalá is agave varietal. So we have 4 different varietals, unlike in tequila. In tequila, you only have one, which is the blue agave. In the world of mezcal, you have over 100 different varietals. We, in our case, have 4. Tobalá is one of them. And I just describe it like it's like in wine, you have your Pinots and your Cabs and your Zins. So I would say Tobalá is somewhat exotic. But if you want to go for something really exotic, our Barreno is very unique to us. It only grows in the region of Miahuatlán, which is great. Same with the Coyote. These are all. I'm
going to ask another question. So what I'm gathering, because I think there might be a lot of people that are like me who don't know a lot about mezcal. And it sounds really special and a refined art to create it. And so you're describing these different species of agave, and that some of them grow only in special areas, and people know where they are. And that's really something important to point out, that this deep sense of adventure and knowledge of the land that must go into creating these spirits.
Yeah, for sure. Our Don Bernardo and Fabiola, I mean, it's fantastic. Like the way he measures the ABV on the spirit, he does it by showing the perlas, which essentially you're getting the agave in a straw. You're sucking it in a straw, and then you're pouring it back into the cup. And the amount of pearls or the amount of bubbles it creates, it will give him an idea of what's the ABV.
So he can nail it with just visually within like a couple decimal points of how much ABV is in there. Yeah.
It's just amazing. And that just shows how they've been doing this for generations. Fabiola is now the 4th generation doing it. And it's all like they just know the craft so well. That's why Sam fell in love with it, because it's just a passion. It's just like methodically you learn the process through decades. And Sam did the same with his sculpting,
And it's just Sam Hernandez, like, not only have these amazing sculptures, but now the art is on the label.
Oh, taste test.
Like
taste test, okay.
Taste test alert.
Okay,
I mean, we might go triple taste test on this fine Friday.
We can do the Tobalá. This is my little tasting kit. We have these beautiful cork pours.
And these ceramic.
These are all from a good friend, David Kamner. He made these up in the mountains, Santa Cruz Mountains.
Beautiful.
Amazing glass blower. Anyhow, this is our Tobalá.
Very earthy and subtly
100% wild, or
wild mezcal. I'm seeing like a buck and bronco with mezcal. It's really complex. It's got that smokiness, but also that earthy soil flavor, and it just kind of swirls around in your mouth and your head. It lingers.
And it almost feels sacrilegious that we put like a cocktail recipe in there, because some of your stuff it's really nice just to sip and appreciate naked, if you will.
Right. Yeah, I mean, if you tell Don Bernardo that you're making a margarita or something with this, go get a heart attack. You know, this is
He'll haunt you in the night.
Yeah. This is the kind of stuff that you sip and you enjoy with family and friends.
So the brand is Huxal. Huxal, is that right?
We came up with the word. HU represents the word humo in Spanish, which is smoke, and then XAL is a blend between mezcal and Mexico. So it's pronounced Huxal. So the H is silent. Yeah.
Christine's learning all kinds of different language today. We got into Japanese, and now we're learning like a little Mexican, Spanish, flair. What a voyage! And you're learning about mezcal.
The eternal student in me is thrilled, and even though I've never purchased mezcal or had it, this is a wonderful adventure because of how connected it is to something that is this very human and very meaningful. Yeah.
I should have brought the chapulines, the crickets, to even make it more traditional.
Yeah, great Southern Mexican snack, seasoned
Actual
insects.
crickets?
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, they have them. They have them at Copal.
Have you had chapulines before?
They're delicious.
Oh, Copal has some great ones, and they even have one of their more stylish mezcal drinks. Is it Chapulinero or something?
Chapulín Colorado, which happens to be a character in this show that everybody in South America grew up watching.
Oh, really? Okay. And so it's a cocktail with a fried grasshopper on top.
Of food or something. Do you know topochijo?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I have some other varietals, but I'm not sure if you guys want to sip them.
So maybe one fun contrast to this one would be cool.
I mean, we have the Barreno, which is the one I describe as very unique to our brand. It only grows in the region of Miahuatlan. So we're basically the only mezcal producer bringing this varietal to the U.S. So even people that are mezcal connoisseurs don't know this agave, which is great. Then we have the Coyote. I describe this as the gin of the agaves. So if you're into more floral, botanical, this is the agave for you, which I love. And then we have the Espadín, which we actually just got a silver award on the Espadín and a gold on the Barreno at the San Francisco World Spirits Competition. So it's amazing for sipping by itself, but also as a cocktail.
I think she's going to try
the Barreno. Yeah, Barreno. This is over 15 years of age, so way older. And when I refer to the age, this is the age of the plant itself before it's been harvested. So it's not like aged for 15 years. These are all joven, which means young. This means after distillation, they go straight to the bottle, and we bring it here.
I just love that. So the age you're speaking of is the age of the actual plant, which, again, it's like I'm a gardener and I just love the living world. And there's just something really exciting about that connection to this living being. Okay. Yeah. So this is called Barreno.
Yeah.
That's the good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, this one to me, it's also buttery and salty. You can taste the minerals, the soil. That one's my favorite one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
the buttery. I don't think you used that note when we met up. I'm so suggestive that like I'm easily influenced, but I totally get it on the nose. It's like caramel kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
People describe this one, and you can just smell it. And one thing I
learned, it's changing too, though,
in the wine world and also in the spirits world. There's no wrong answer. And everybody can smell and taste whatever. But this, I get a lot of plantain notes if you smell this one.
So this is the coyote.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is brighter. Like you said, you called it the gin of the mezcal world. So it's got those brighter herbal notes, whereas the others are very earthy, minerally, of like, I'm just down in the dirt is the best way that I can say it, which is a good thing, being a dirt lover.
Nick from the Crepe Place, a great guy, bartender, the Crepe Place, he makes a white Negroni with it. And so he does it with the Espadín. And he calls it Ballena Blanca, white whale. I would definitely recommend that. Good cocktails.
Okay, fun. Great place, Ballena Blanca, white whale.
Yeah, and the Crepe Place. What a wonderful place to go. Sit outside, have a delicious meal, great salads. You can enjoy one of these cocktails, some terrific music out there in the garden. So since we're a food show, can we give a plug for that wonderful place?
Yeah, we've been weaving music in a good amount here. Muy amable. Gracias, Franco.
Great. I'm glad you guys enjoyed. Yeah,
thanks for coming out to the studio.
All right. Happy Friday.
All right, Franco. Thanks, man.
Mark, thank you so much for bringing in all these guests today. I think it's been a really rich show. And now we are winding down toward the end, which means it's taste test time.
So this taste test was inspired by what we call Monterey Bay Marketplace, which is a page or two in every print issue where it allows handcrafted artisanal producers to have access to like our audience and people that are interested in great stuff to eat done locally and done with care and love and all that in a way that's like a little more affordable than taking out a huge one-page ad. And so I stopped by Shopper's Corner to pick up a couple things from participants in the Monterey Bay Marketplace. But I've had great experience with basically everybody who's joined in on that.
Yeah, this is so wonderful. I'm glad you pointed it out because it's easy to see something like Monterey Bay Marketplace and be like, oh, it's a bunch of ads. But these are special companies that create what they sell right here in the Monterey Bay area. Very, very cool.
Right. So I thought it would be fun to, try out a couple of the marketplace representatives. So I grabbed some Wise Goat jalapeno sauerkraut. I got the last jar at Shopper's Corner, so hopefully they're restocking.
Well, that says a lot. If it's the last one, it means people like it.
These homies, their taglines include slanging cabbage since 2013, creating nutrient-dense, nourishing foods straight out of San Benito County. So let's give a little taste, Barrington.
Okay, let's do it. Oh, there's the plastic.
So this is the experience.
Crunch, crunch. This is excellent. Do you have you had some?
I don't think I've had their jalapeno.
This is like sauerkraut I would just chomp straight out of the jar because I wouldn't want to wait to put it in a bowl, and that's impressive. It's
it's got that sweet skunkiness, but with a roundness to it that I don't think I experience with many sauerkrauts.
You named it exactly. It's got a roundness, a softness. It doesn't have that super intense acidity.
Oh.
Like I said, it's delicious.
Dang, that's pretty good.
I would eat a lot of this. And
this could go on a lot of different sandwiches.
And
hot dogs.
I'm sad that you said that there's no more at Shoppers because that's where I'm going after the show to do my shopping.
Well,
and I was going to pick it up.
Have another forkful. Should I be crunching in the mic or?
A little bit. Not a lot of it. It might gross people out. That's why I'm leaning away.
What's that, ASMR? Well, Shopper's Corner, to their credit, very responsive to their audience. So maybe if you're like the second person of the day that's coming in, like name checking Wise Goat Organics, then they'll be like, all right, team, we got to re-up with our pals out there in Hollister land.
Oh, and it's got just the right amount of spicy kick from the jalapenos. It's superlative.
It makes me not want to have sauerkraut that without that little edge, that little jalapeno edge, because then it would feel like a little flatter, like something's missing.
Zippity doo dah. Thank you, Mark. I really appreciate you.
And well so done. It's cool. I encourage people to check out the Monterey Bay Marketplace. 9 different items there, and they're all local. Maybe in a future episode we'll try Bell Farms extra virgin olive oil. I know the Carmel elderberry syrups are just boutique and.
One of my favorite flavors. I am excited. I'm going to have to check all those out. And doing a little taste test here of those items would be fun.
All right. Let's do it.
All right. We can dream. All right. Well, that's a wrap, Mark. Thank you once again for bringing in great people, great products, delicious, delicious descriptions of everything that's going on in the culinary world here in the Tri-County area. Can't wait until August.
Keep that flavor adventure riding high. We will do so. All right. This is KSQD Community Radio for all of the Monterey Bay on 89.5, 89.7, 90.7 FM, live streaming worldwide, ksqd.org. Stay tuned for more great radio. I'm Christine Barrington, here with Mark Anderson. Yeah, I guess that's me. Mark C. Anderson, signing off. Signing off. Good Bye-bye. Stuff. You can find links to articles exploring in detail everything discussed today. Check out the show page on ksqd.org or look for Edible on the Air, available on all major podcast platforms. Thanks again to Mark C., and we hope you'll tune in again the 4th Friday of every month for Edible on the Air right here on K-Squid Community Radio for all of the Monterey Bay.